Today's the 2nd of June, it's 2025, and we're in the Montuari area. We've just been to the market there, but we couldn't miss out on visiting the archaeological site here, which is the old Talayotic, sort of 3,000 years old, so let's go and investigate. So we parked up, there's a car park just down there along a dusty track, and then this is the sort of the entrance to it. And we came, I guess it might be 3-4 years ago, and there were archaeologists at work, and it looks like there's still archaeologists at work. There seems actually there's a lot of people here. By comparison, I think we were the only people here, bar a couple of archaeologists. And this is the information. Yeah, there's lots of information in all sorts of different languages, including in English. So, see if I can find the English for you. So, the most emblematic period of the prehistory of the islands of the Mallorca and Menorca is defined by the construction of monumental stone towers known as Talayotics. And Son Fornés, which is where we are now, takes up the central position, both geographically and in terms of Balearic archaeology, as it still remains the best known Talayotic settlement. We've visited several others. This one obviously does stand out. The story of Son Fornés begins when a prosperous, supportive and quite self-sufficient farming community decided to settle on the margins of a previously uninhabited but very fertile territory thanks to seasonal flooding. This group, made up of 400 or so individuals, constructed 3 Talayotics, and these great towers were conceived as public buildings and acted as lookout posts, meeting areas and centres for meat distribution, and possibly venues for political or religious gatherings. Their presence engaged both physically and symbolically the settlements of life. So, well, let's just go and have a look around. I think I'm just going to find a little shady spot somewhere. Okay, and I'll just start to have a little look around and see some of these towers and some of these things while the archaeologists up there dig away with their trowels and paintbrushes. These huge boulders, I just find it astounding. How did they manage to move such amazing things there? And build this 3,000 years ago. With a maximum diameter of 17 meters and 4 meters in height. This is the largest of the Talayotics. We can actually go through there. Can you see the hole? Look at those huge stones. I mean, this is like so reminiscent of things like Stonehenge. The ceiling comprised of wild olive beams arranged radially. That's how it's thought to have been. So these are round, and so you can see there in the middle there's a stone which would have gone up, and then they would have beams of olive wood, and then they make a roof for that. I'm not even sure I can get through that hole. It looks tricky. It has been gravel paths so people can walk through here and go into there. Would I make it through? Incredibly well constructed. And at the end, that's the central pillar which the roof would have been supported from. So there's only a small space around the outside, not huge areas. I'm not going to try it. I'm not that brave. And then areas off it. They have cut down a lot of branches over there. I wonder what they're going to do with those. I think these are places we need to come and investigate again and again, because when we were here last time, this is the area where they were doing their excavations. Some of the rooms, I mean, we're entering a really big area now, and it seems to have something of a floor which may have disappeared at one point there. And a little alleyway would this have been to walk through. That's really big and squarish room. I think maybe it's been partially reconstructed. Sometimes you wonder where the entrances are. So there's a little square room there. The entrance just over to the left. We did visit Majorca a few days ago, and one of the things that they're doing at Majorca is to teach people how to do dry stone walling. Well, that's dry stone walling on a mega scale, isn't it? And some of those stones just fit together so perfectly. Very extensive site this is. I need to get out down below. Cars are parked out there. Some photos here on one of the displays and what we're expected, and what we're looking at. It does say there here that although the Talayotic neighbourhood suffered a fire that ruined its buildings, the collapsed building materials were either removed or reused, disrupting the original layout. Excavations have confirmed that the entire urban plan revolved around Talayots, built in first instance and then joined by imposing ramparts that enclosed the whole complex from the south, where the main entrance is found. The houses were built either against the facades, and the Talayots, that's HT1, HT4, HT2, HT6. So HT1, 4, and where's 6? Hidden away somewhere. Oh, here we go. So let's have a look around. I've got a steep area here. I'm skirting the outside now. I think on our last visit this wasn't an area for us to come to, but it seems to be today. Wall there. So this is archaeology on a big scale, so they've got a big bulldozer in to help them to shift some of the material. And the photographer coming. What was life like in 3,000 years ago in this little Talayotic village. It's got a surface where the house, which is HT5, had a surface area of 45 square metres. It's the largest and best preserved Talayotic house to date, accessible via a staircase linking the outside to the largest of the 3 living quarters. It was well lit and suitable for processing hides and for making bone paints and pottery. A small opening in the dividing wall led to the kitchen, which still preserved large stone slab used for food preparation, and where a wide selection of cups, bowls and cooking pots were discovered, originally used for consuming and preparing the daily stew. From the kitchen, the 3rd room was accessed, and this room was quite dark and contained few domestic finds, a perfect place to shelter and rest. And there is a museum in the village which we visited before. I think we're going to have to go there again just to give us an idea of what all of this is like. So here we can see some of that area. We can carry on round. The bulldozer taking away loads of debris that they've cleared. The archaeologists are working on up around the corner. I'll let him go past, let the dust settle a little bit. And a very poignant sign here, don't climb on the walls, because the walls will eventually get eroded away, so just enjoy the views. There is a path that goes up there, so we'll go up there in a moment. There's a little hole in the ground here, look. Another one over there, there's various holes in the ground. This peculiar Talayotic shows a large contrast between the total surface and the building and the inner chamber. This is owed to the significant architectural restructuring which had to contend with serious set of backs in the excavation. The structural errors are still visible on the northern facade, where ancient collapsed sections were partially repaired. To correct the problem of stability of the building, the original doorway had to be sealed up. That's number 1 somewhere. And a new wall, and finally created a spiral staircase. The main feature of the dark internal space, now reduced to barely 9 square metres, was the imposing central column supporting the roofing structure, and the small space with absolutely no type of infrastructure was ideal for small group meetings. The pottery recovered during excavation comprises of a group of drinking cups not found elsewhere in the settlement, and whose joint liquid volume equals that of another unique container found within. it would seem that we are dealing with a set of items used for drinking some kind of beverage during the course of a meeting, with a few individuals involved in certain rituals or political discussions. Political discussions 3,000 years ago. Right. Can't climb any higher, so I'm going to put the camera up and let you have a look. So I've got the camera really up high now, so I can't actually see what I'm videoing. But that's the structure we're just talking about. So these areas we can actually walk into. Is that stone being cut in that shape, and are these holes in the ground meant to be? And what's that there? Is that a drainage hole? Oh, here's an entrance, look. And look at that huge stone placed up there. Maybe we can get into part of it if we walk around. This is like the outer wall here. Similar to the Talayotic wall. There's the man with the big bulldozer, move out of his way. Got some big rocks there. Ooh, and a lot of dust. This is where I think I can walk in without desecrating the area of any way. There's curious structures here, like a little space. What's that for? And then here, well, here we can actually go through there. I think we're meant to do this. And there's that huge stone going into here. And that doesn't allow me to go any further at all. Except I can see up there, so I'm going to put the camera up again for you to have a look. And look down. This is the thickness of this wall. It is hugely thick. I'll head out under this. And then back down. That's where the diggers are digging and the photographers are photographing. I think I've gone as far as I can get here. Come back down. So the arc, oh, there's more of it over here, look. So this is clearly another section. You can see the thickness of the wall there. Major development, major work going on. And I think they're making film and they're videoing. I don't know if they're going to be bothered by me being up here. Clearly there's interesting things to find. I just find all of this so fascinating. When I was a little boy, I could only have been, I don't know, 8, 10, something like that. And if anybody asked me what I wanted to be, I always used to say archaeologist. Well, never happened, but I do admire the work that they do, the patience that they have, and the things that they discover. And this is all, I think, maybe opened up since we were last here. I don't remember this at all. Oh, I do remember this chair though. Oh, it looks like a chair. Is that some sort of a throne? The way it's been set out here, there are what looks like sitting areas around the outside, but I don't know if that's a new addition. And is that the throne? Is that, or that where a priest might have been, or some leader? I don't know. I just know that the whole thing is fascinating. I think what I would like to see is what these archaeologists think all of this looked like 3,000 years ago or 2,000 years ago. And it has stayed in the shade, which is probably the sensible thing to do. I think she's chatting to Serena. Well, I've had a lovely time. I'm not sure about Anita, but I've really enjoyed my little walk around here. So thanks very much for watching. Hope you found it interesting. Looking forward to seeing you in the next one. So bye for now.
Bye.
Bye.